Hey church family, thank you for joining us for today's daily connection video, the last connection video of this week. We are finishing up talking about being sure of our salvation, and we've really looked at God's part in our salvation. We're going to look at another part of God's work in our lives in salvation. We're going to start, go ahead and read our passage, Ephesians 2, verses 8 through 9. This is a familiar passage, a very theologically rich passage, a passage that we have doctrines in the church that are founded on this verse and many others, but this one particularly is so important. So I'm going to read this, Ephesians 2, verses 8 through 9. It says, "For you are saved by grace through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is God's gift, not from works, so that no one can boast." A couple of days ago, we talked about mercy and how mercy is the holding back of punishment whenever punishment is deserved. And saying, hey, I know that you deserve to be punished and I should punish you, but I'm not going to punish you. And that is great in itself, to not face a punishment. But here's the thing. If God only gave us mercy when we sinned, then when we sinned, he would forego his punishment. But we would sin again, wouldn't we? And so then he would have to be merciful again, and merciful again, and merciful again, over and over. And he would constantly be foregoing his punishment. But our God loves us more than just that. Our God loves us so much that not only does he show us mercy, he forgoes his punishment. But on the other side of that coin of mercy, he gives us grace. Grace is giving a gift that is undeserved. So he pulls the punishment from sin away from us with mercy through the death of his son on the cross. And he gives us grace by offering us salvation through the death of his cross, of his son on the cross. And that grace, man, that is what saves us. And we need grace because the reality is the standard that God has created, the standard that we must live by, this holy standard, it's unattainable. There's no way that you or I could save ourselves. No matter how much mercy is poured out on us, we still can't be saved. And so that grace is necessary. We can't earn our salvation. We must receive it from God. And that's why he talks about that, hey, this is not from works, so that no one can boast. It is so important that we understand that. We cannot boast that we have saved ourselves. And the reality is we should not boast that we have done anything on our own. The reality is all the gifts that we have, all the abilities that we have, including our salvation that has been given to us, it is all a gift of grace from God because he loves us so much. And so as we think about mercy, the foregoing of those punishments, let's never also forget of the grace that's been given to us. The grace of salvation, the gift of salvation when we did nothing to deserve it. And I think that shows us just how much God loves us, that although we don't deserve it, he chooses to offer it. So our author gives us a couple of questions to look at. The first is, why is it impossible to earn salvation? We talked about God's standard. Is it possible to meet that standard? I hope your answer is no. Why is it impossible to earn salvation? Because we aren't good enough. And then the second one, in your own words, how are we saved? And I can't answer that question for you. I can give you in my own words how I believe we're saved, but I'm not going to. If you're curious, you can ask me. But I think that this verse makes it clear. In fact, I think this passage that we've looked at, Ephesians 2, 1 through 9, makes it clear how we are saved, starting from death to life. In your own words, how would you articulate that? How would you say, this is how I am saved? Church family, I hope that you'll work through that, think through that that'll be at the forefront of your mind throughout your day today and the days ahead. That you are always thinking on the salvation, the gift of grace that's been given you. As you do that, church family, we want you to know that we love you and we're praying for you.